ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಇಂದಿನ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಕೂಟ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾಟ್ಯ ಸಲ್ಲಾಪ ಒಂದು ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ ಭರತನಾಟ್ಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಂದ ರೂಪಶ್ರೀ ವಿಠಲ್ ಮತ್ತು ರಮಾ ವೇಣುಗೋಪಾಲನ್ ಅವರು ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ತುಂಬ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಮತ್ತು ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ರೂಪಶ್ರೀ ಅವರನ್ನ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಲಲಿತಾ ವಿಶ್ವನಾಥ್ ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಇದಲ್ಲದೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಇವರು ಜೊತೆ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ ನಡೆಸಲಿಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ರಾಶಿ ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯ, ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಪ್ರವೀಣ್, ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವರಾ ಕುಲಕರ್ಣಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಈಶಾನಿ ಪ್ರಸಾದ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸಾಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಕ ಸಂಘ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಕ್ಯಾಲಿಫೋರ್ನಿಯಾ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಪ್ರಕಟಣೆಗಳು. ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಘದ ಸುವರ್ಣ ಮಹೋತ್ಸವ ವರ್ಷ ಈ ವರ್ಷ, ಮುಂದಿನ ವರ್ಷ ನಾವು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲ ವಾಲಂಟಿಯರ್ಸ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಸೈನ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಮೇಲ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ವಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಫಾರಮ್ ಕಳಿಸಿತ್ತು. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಸೈನ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ತುಂಬ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಸೈನ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದನೇ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಂತರ ಈಗ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ವಿ, ನೃತ್ಯೋತ್ಸವ ಅಂತ ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್ ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ನೃತ್ಯೋತ್ಸವ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಫಾರಮ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದೆ, ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿ ಅದು ಸೈನ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನವೆಂಬರ್ 19ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ವಾಲಿಬಾಲ್ ಟೂರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಅರ್ವೈನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದರದ್ದು ವಿವರಗಳು ಸದ್ಯದಲ್ಲೇ ಬರಲಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಸೈನ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿ. ಈಗ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಕಟಣೆ ಮುಗಿತು. ನಾಟ್ಯ ಸಲ್ಲಾಪ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರು, ಸದಸ್ಯರು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ. ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ರೂಪಶ್ರೀ ವಿಠಲ್ ಮತ್ತು ರಮಾ ವೇಣುಗೋಪಾಲನ್ನ ಪರಿಚಯ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಲಲಿತಾ ವಿಶ್ವನಾಥ್ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕರೀತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ಈ ದಿನ ಭರತನಾಟ್ಯ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನದ ನೃತ್ಯ ಕಲಾವಿದೆಯರಾದ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ರಮಾ ವೇಣುಗೋಪಾಲನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ರೂಪಶ್ರೀ ವಿಠಲ್ ಅವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ 2 ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲು ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಭರತನಾಟ್ಯವೇ ಜೀವನವಾಗಿರುವ ರಮಾ ವೇಣುಗೋಪಾಲನ್ ಅವರು ಕಲೆಯ ಉತ್ತಮ ಪ್ರತಿಪಾದಕರು, ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರೂ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಪ್ರಾಚೀನ ಕಲಾ ಪ್ರಕಾರವನ್ನು ಪ್ರದರ್ಶಿಸುವುದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ನೀಡುವಲ್ಲಿ 3 ದಶಕಗಳ ಅನುಭವವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೃತ್ಯ ಪ್ರಕಾರದ ಸಾಂಪ್ರದಾಯಿಕ ಶಬ್ದಕೋಶ ಮತ್ತು ಕಟ್ಟುಪಾಡುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ದೃಢವಾಗಿ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇರಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. She also holds a master degree in Bharatanatyam and its allied subjects such as Indian philosophy, Indian history, and study of temple architecture. ನಾಟ್ಯಾಭ್ಯಾಸ ಉಪಾಸನಂ ಎನ್ನುವ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಡಿಯೋಗಳ ಸರಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಭರತನಾಟ್ಯದ ಕಲಿಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಉತ್ಕಟವಾಗಿ ಅನುಭವಿಸುವ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನು ಹಂಚಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತಾ ಭರತನಾಟ್ಯದ ಆಳ, ಬೇರು ಮತ್ತು ಹರವುಗಳನ್ನು ತೆರೆದಿಡುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರ ಲೇಖನಗಳು ಅವರ ಲೇಖನಗಳು ಕಲಾ ನಿಯತಕಾಲಿಗಳು ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಪಕವಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಕಟಗೊಂಡಿವೆ. ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಾ ಪ್ರಕಾರದ ರಾಜಿಯಾಗದ ಬಹುಮುಖದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಅದರ ನಿಯಮಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರ ಮುನ್ನಡೆಯುವ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಹೊಳಪುಗಳನ್ನು ಹಂಚಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಜಿಂ ಪ್ರೇಮ್ಜಿ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾನಿಲಯದ ಸ್ನಾತಕೋತ್ತರ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಸಿಗಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಯೋಚಿಸಿದ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರೀಯ ನೃತ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಲಿಂಗ ಸಮಾನತೆ ಎನ್ನುವ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಅಡ್ಡ ವಿಭಾಗವನ್ನು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರೀಯ ನೃತ್ಯದ ಪರಿಕಲ್ಪನೆಗೆ ವಿಶಾಲ ಮತ್ತು ಆಳವಾದ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನವನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯಲು, ಅದರ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತೆಯನ್ನು ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳಲು ಅನುವು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ರಮಾ ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೇಕ್ಷಕರಿಗೂ ನೃತ್ಯ ಕಲೆಯನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮದಾಕಿಸಲು ಮತ್ತು ಆನಂದಿಸಲು ಸಹಾಯವಾಗುವಂತೆ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ, ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನಗಳನ್ನು ನಿಯಮಿತವಾಗಿ ನಡೆಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ರೂಪಶ್ರೀ ವಿಠಲ್. ರೂಪಶ್ರೀ ವಿಠಲ್ 3 ದಶಕಗಳಿಗೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಾಲ ಭರತನಾಟ್ಯದ ಪ್ರತಿಪಾದಕ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶಕರಾಗಿಯೂ ಸತತ ಕಲಿಕೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಡಗಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಗುರು ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ನರ್ಮದಾ ಅವರ ಹಿರಿಯ ಶಿಷ್ಯೆ. ರೂಪಶ್ರೀ ಅವರು ಭಾರತ ಮತ್ತು ವಿದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಿತ ಸ್ಥಳಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನವನ್ನು ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಮೆರಿಕಾದಲ್ಲೂ ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಮಟ್ಟದ ಕಲಾವಿದರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಹಲವಾರು ಯೋಜನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವರು she has a graded artist of Doordarshan and has a vidvat in dance and continues to practice her art with Guru Shri Praveen Kumar. 3 ಶತಮಾನಗಳ ಮಹಿಳಾ ಹರಿದಾಸರ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಚಿತ್ರಿಸುವ ಹರಿಭಕ್ತ ವಾಹಿನಿ ಎಂಬ ನೃತ್ಯ ರೂಪಕದ ಪರಿಕಲ್ಪನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಅದರ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೃತ್ಯವನ್ನು ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನ, ಇದು ಭರತನಾಟ್ಯ ಕಲಾ ಪ್ರಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿನೂತನವಾಗಿದ್ದು ನಿರ್ಮಾಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಹಲವಾರು ಪ್ರಶಂಸೆಗಳು ಗಳಿಸಿದೆ. ಸಮಕಾಲೀನ ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರೀಯ ರೂಪದ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತಿಯನ್ನು ಪರಿಕಲ್ಪನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಅನ್ವೇಷಿಸಲು ನೃತ್ಯದ ಮೇಲಿನ ಅವರ ಅಮಿತ ಉತ್ಸಾಹವು ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿದೆ. ವಿಶ್ವ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಮತ್ತು ಭಾರತೀಯ ತತ್ವಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ, ಈ ಎರಡೂ ಅವರ ಕಲೆಯ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸದ ವಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ತಳಹದಿಯಾಗಿವೆ. ರೂಪಶ್ರೀ ಅವರು ವಿವಿಧ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸಾಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಕ ನಿಯತ ಕಾಲಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕಲೆಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹರಬಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅನನ್ಯ ಕಲಾಸಿಂಚನ ಮ್ಯಾಗಝೀನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ ಲೇಖನಗಳು ನಿಯಮಿತವಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಕಟಗೊಂಡಿವೆ. ರೂಪಶ್ರೀ ಅವರು ಅದ್ಭುತ ನೃತ್ಯಗಾರಿ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಮಮತೆಯ ತಾಯಿ ಮತ್ತು ಸಮರ್ಥ ಕಲೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ನಾಯಕರು ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಸಂತೋಷ ಮತ್ತು ಸಮರ್ಪಣಾ ಭಾವದೊಂದಿಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಕಲಾನ್ವೇಷಣೆಯನ್ನು ಮುಂದುವರಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ನಾನು ರೂಪಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಇದು ರಮಾ. ವಿಲ್ ಮೇಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್. ಈ ಒಂದು ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಸತತವಾಗಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ 3.5 35 years ಇದರೊಳಗೆ ನಾವು ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬೀನ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬೀನ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬೀನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಜಗಲ್ಡ್ ಮೆನಿ ರೋಲ್ಸ್. ತಾಯಿಯಾಗಿ, ಕರಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ, ಟೀಚರ್ ಆಗಿ, ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ ಆಗಿ. ಸೊ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ನಾವು ಕಲಿತಿರುವ ಪಾಠಗಳು, ಅದರ ಅನುಭವ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ರಲ್ಲ, ವಿ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೈರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೋಟಿವೇಟ್ಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಡಾನ್ಸ್ further in their life, not just as performers, as a part of their life. So without that's the whole point of this conversation we wanted to have, to see ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸು ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಂತರದ ಅದರದ ಒಂದು ಉಪಯೋಗ, ಅದರದ ಒಂದು ಅನುಭವ, ಅದರದ ಒಂದೇ ಆಕರ್ಷಣೆ, ಇದನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ. This is not an advice, this is nothing except a conversation. So welcome to this session. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ನೀವು ನಮಗೆ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ. So let's start. Go ahead.
Yes, I think you should just go ahead and
so the entire conversation is divided into 3 segments. So we are going to first talk about dance and traditional discipline. Ramaa ಒಬ್ಬಳು performer as well as a teacher, but I don't do it professionally. But it doesn't matter that, discipline is what that is a key component of pursuing this art form. So we want to talk about dance and traditional discipline, And then how do we expand our minds? How do we look at the same things, what we see in a different perspective? So we're going to talk about dance and academia, how enriching our learning helps. And after you practice, after you learn, how actually you can personalize it with your own experiences. Now, students agidvi, then we became mothers, then I juggle a corporate career, she juggles being a performer and a teacher. So other one, the personalization, how do we bring it into how we think, how we choreograph, and how we perform? So in these three segments, we want to share with you the knowledge, what we have, or the lessons, what we have observed. So welcome. And Ramaa?
Yeah. Namaskara ellarigu. It's really a pleasure to be online. As Rupa mentioned, I think dance and traditional discipline. I think today in the social media, we get to see, I think especially after the pandemic, we see a whole bunch of youngsters trying to put in a lot of content, new work, productions. There are so many ideas, there are so many possibilities. ಇದ್ರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ನಮ್ಮ ರೂಟೆಡ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ವೇರ್ ಡಿಡ್ ವಿ ಬಿಗಿನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್, ನಾವ್ ಏನ್ ಕಲಿತ್ವಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಟೀಚರ್ ಹತ್ರ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವ್ ಹೇಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ದಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸ್ ಟು ರಿವಿಸಿಟ್. ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಲರ್ನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಆರ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್, ಆ ಪದ್ಧತಿ, ಆ ಪಾಠಾಂತರ, ಅದನ್ನ ಹೌ ಡು ವಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ to find relevance as and when we grow as practitioners, as students, and even as teachers. I think experience what we have personally understood and believed is that whatever we have learned from our teacher is what actually stands ground for a long time to come. ಅಡವುಗಳನ್ನ ಅಥವಾ ಕಾಂಪೊಸಿಷನ್ಸ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಹಾಗೆ ನಾವು ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಅನುಭವ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. What, for example, say we learned a Ganesha Kautvam about maybe when we are all 10-year-old or something like that. ಅದೇ ಕೌತ್ವಮ್ನ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ 20 ವರ್ಷ 30 ವರ್ಷ ಸಾಧನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಆ ಗಣೇಶ ಕೌತ್ವಂ ಅಥವಾ ಆ ಮುರುಗನ್ ಕೌತ್ವಂ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಅಲಾರಿಪು ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತಿಗೆ ವಾಟ್ ಡಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಕ್ ಟು ಅಸ್? ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನ್. ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಸತತವಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಮಾಡದೆ, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ತಲೆ ಇಂಟೆಲೆಕ್ಚುಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡದೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಗಿದೆಯೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಆಡ್ಸ್ ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ, ಇಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ ಬೆಟರ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್, let's say it's like wine, it marinates and it really brings in a new flavor. So namma anubhavat prakara discipline, especially traditional discipline, what we have learned from our teachers becomes an important aspect for us to pursue the dance. And it's like going home. Yene productions madidreno matte manege hogi nam sarana uta martivo athwa palya tintivo, aa thara these traditional compositions is home.
Correct.
For us.
Correct. So and now iವಾಗ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ದಿವಸಕ್ಕೆ 8 ಅವರ್ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, 6 ಅವರ್ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. I find it very surprising because life is meant to have all experiences, not just one. So ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ, ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ದಂಗೆ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಜನರೇಷನ್, ನಾನು ಇವಾಗ ನಾ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಾ ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ, ನನ್ನ ಕೆರಿಯರ್ ಇದೆ, ನಾ ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? ಖಂಡಿತ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸತಿ ನಾವು ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಏನು ಹುಡುಕ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ನನ್ನ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಕೆರಿಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 1 ವರ್ಷ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡೆ. ನಾನು ರಮ್ಮ ಬರೀ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷ, ಬರೀ ಇನ್ಯಾವ ಐಟಮು, ಇನ್ಯಾವ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಐಟಮ್. And you also realize with time, what you can do at 20, what you can do at 30, physically also will change. ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹೀಗೆ ಜಂಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹೀಗೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ನೀವು ವಾರಕ್ಕೆ 1 ದಿವಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ವಾರಕ್ಕೆ 1 ದಿವಸ ಮಾಡಿ. ವಾರಕ್ಕೆ 2 ದಿವಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ವಾರಕ್ಕೆ 2 ದಿವಸ ಮಾಡಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ 1 ವಾರ 5 ದಿವಸ ಮಾಡಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವಾರ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. Be consistent, just like any other thing. I mean, if you work out, you will be consistent. Yeah. So traditional discipline, pick basics and stick with it consistently. And over a period of time, you can see it manifesting in you. You can see it sitting in your body. You can see it yourself enjoying it.
Yeah, and I think even as a teacher, when I teach my students, I have a whole bunch of students from a 7-year-old to a 35-year-old. I think over a period of time, ನನ್ನ observation ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ the same adavus manifest in the student's body in different ways through their own growth process. How I would teach, how I would enable or elicit a particular response from a student when they are 5, when they are 15, when they are 25, when they are 35 is vastly different. And it becomes the onus for us to also encourage the student to say, hey, you don't have to dance like how you did when you're 15. Can you try and dance how you can today? Can you find the relevance to it today? Do you see how your body is responding to those movements today? So I think this is what broadly we have understood from dance and traditional discipline. And as a visual mapping to these thoughts, we would like to play for you about 4 videos
which are all basic compositions.
Yes,
it's something that we have enjoyed, and you guys should see whether that makes sense to you. So yeah.
we have 4 compositions. We have the traditional Ganesha Kautvam, which I think all of us would have learned, which will be performed by Rupa. That will be followed by a Murugan Kautvam, which I have learned from my teacher, and which she has learned from her teacher, and I have imparted that to all my students, and it's such a beautiful composition, and it's timeless. And then you will see a video where Rupa and I present an Alarepu, where we stick to our style of dancing, but we just cohabit the space. So that could be an interesting observation for all of you. And that will again be followed by a Jatiswaram, which will be performed by Rupa. So over to the videos.
Yeah.
Tam dit dit tay, tam dit dit tay, dit dit tay, tam dit dit tay, tam dit tay, ta takunda, tat tam, tat tat tam, dit tam, utta kitta kinna tunga, takundam tunga, ta tangu. Tang di kitta takka utta kitta ginna tonga takkuntam tonga tam tangu di tang di kitta takka tam tat tat tam dit tam di kitta kitta takka dikkuntari tak kitta kitta takka takkuntari
hari tirumarugane Vigna Vinayaka Vinaykedaruliya Ganapati Jaya Jaya Hari Tirumarugane Vigna Vinayaka Vinaykedaruliya Ganapati Jaya Jaya
Di kitta uttarakkadan Jai Jai Di kitta uttarakkadan Ginnam
Tadike tudike யானை முகத்தவன்
தொம் கிட்ட கிட்ட தக்க தொம் கிட்ட கிட்ட
தேவர்கள் கணபதி
திக்கிட்ட கிட்ட தக்க திக்கு தொங்க
கணபதி காவித்வம் கற்றவர் வினயர உக்குடுதாம் உக்குடுதை தக்குதே குதா கிட்ட தொங்கிட கிட தகடங் தங்கி கிடதகதே தாம் தத்தா ஜன்ன கிட்ட கிர்ர கிட்ட ஜன்ன கிட்ட கிர்ர கிட்ட ஜன்ன கிட்ட ஜன்ன கிட்ட கிர்ர கிட்ட தக்குடு திக்குடு தரி குடுதா తక్కుడు ధిక్కుడు తకుంధటి కిట తక తక్కుంధట్టి కిట్ట తక్క
ఝన్న కిట్ట కిట్ర కిట్ట తక్కుడు ధిక్కుడు తది కిటతాం తక్కుడు ధిక్కుడు తకుంధటి కిట తక తకుంధటి కిట్ట తక్క
வினயர வேல்வாகும் பெருமான் அடியினே தொழுமனமே ஜக ஜக ஜய ஜய
வினயர வேல்வாகும் பெருமான் அடியினை தொழும் மனமே ஜக ஜக ஜய ஜய
துங்கிட நங்கிட தும் தும் கிட்ட தக்கி தொங்கு நங்கு தும் தும் தோ கிட்ட தக்கி தோ கிட்ட தக்கி தோ தோ கிட்ட தக்கி தோ கிட்ட கிட்ட தக்கி கிட்ட தக்கி
தோம் கிட நம் கிட தோம் தோம் கிட தக்கி தோங்கு நங்கு தோம் 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 தத்த தோ கிட தக்கி தோ கிட தக்கி தோ தோ கிட தக்கி தோ கிட கிட தக்கி கிட தக்கி
கானம் மயிலேறி கைலாயம் தன்னை சுழலவரும் இளையவனை தொழுவோம் தாள விதம்பரமுடைய
கானம் மகிழேறி கைலாயம் தன்னை சுழலவரும் இளையவனை தொழுவோம் தாள விதம்பரமுடைய
ஜேகுகு ஜன்ன கிட்ட ஜிக்குகு ஜன்ன கிட்ட ஜேகுகு ஜன்ன கிட்ட ஜிக்குகு ஜன்ன கிட்ட ஜன்ன கிட்ட ஜன்ன கிட்ட கடல் கிழிய மலை முறிய திருமுருகன் அருள் பெற்ற கதியது பெறலாம்
காடல் கிழிய மலை முறிய திருமுருகன் அருள் பெற்ற கதியது பெறலாம்
ஜிக்குகு ஜன்ன கிட்ட ஜேகுகு ஜன்ன கிட்ட ஜிக்குகு ஜன்ன கிட்ட ஜேகுகு ஜன்ன கிட்ட ஜன்ன கிட்ட ஜன்ன கிட்ட ஜன கிட்ட ஜன கிட்ட கிர கிட்ட ஜன கிட்ட ஜன கிட்ட கிர கிட்ட ஜன கிட்ட ஜன கிட்ட குதி கூத கிட்ட தும் கிட்ட கிட்ட தக்கி டங் நங்கி கிட்ட தக்கி தி கி தாம் தி கி தாம் த த தாம்
முருக ஷண்முக ಶರವಣ ಭವ
தடங்குத்தும் கிடதக தடகடதும் தாம் தி தாம் கிட்ட தக்க தி த தி கிட்ட தக்க தாம் தி தாம் கிட்ட தக்க தி த தி கிட்ட தக்க தாம் தி தாம் கிட்ட தக்க தி தத்தி கிட்ட தக்க தாம் தி தாம் கிட்ட தக்க தி தத்தி கிட்ட தக்க தாம் தி தாம் கிட்ட தக்க தி தத்தி கிட்ட தக்க தாம் धित्तों किट तकति तत्ति किट तकतों धित्तों ति तत्ति तों धित्तों ति तत्ति तों धित्तों कृतगति तत्ति कृतगतों धित्तों कृतगति तत्ति कृतगतों धित्तों ति तत्ति तों धित्तों ति तत्ति तों धित्तों कृतगति तत्ति कृतगतों धित्तों कृतगति तत्ति कृतगतों धित्तों किट तकति तत्ति किट तकतों धित्तों किट तकति தி கிட்ட கிட்ட தக்கதோம் தித்தோம் கிட்ட தக்கதி தத்தி 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 கிட்ட தக்கதோம் தித்தோம் தி தத்தி தோம் தித்தோம் தி தத்தி தோம் தித்தம் கிடதகதி தத்தை கிடதகதோம் தித்தம் கிடதகதி தத்தை கிடதகதோம் தித்தோம் தி தத்தி தோம் தித்தோம் தி தத்தி தோம் தித்தம் கிடதகதி தத்தை கிடதகதோம் 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 தாம் கிட்ட தக்கதி தத்தை கிட்ட தக்கதோம் தி தாம் కిటతకతాం ధిత్తాం కిటతకతి తత్తి కిటతకతాం ధిత్తాం కిటతకతి తత్తి కిటతకతాం ధిత్తం కిటతకతి తత్తి కిటతకతాం ధిత్తాం తి తత్తి తాం ధిత్తాం తి తత్తిత్తాం ధిత్తాం తి తత్తితాం ధిత్తం తి తత్తిత్తాం ధిత్తం కిటతకతి తత్తి కిటతకతాం ధిత్తం కిటతకతి తత్తి కిటతకతాం ధిత్తం కిటతకతి తత్తి కిటతకతాం ధిత్తం కిటతకతి తత్తి కిటతకత తజం తదిత తతహతజం తదితే తాహతజం తదిత తతహతజం తదితే తాహతజం తదిత తహతజం తదిత త్రికడదం కిటతకతరికడదం త్రికడదం తక్కడతకతరికడదం త్రికడదం తక్కదిక్కు కిటతకతరికడదం తాం దిదికిటతక దిదికిటతక త్రికడతకతరికడతక దిదికిటతక దిదికిటతక త్రికడతక దిదికిటతక 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 ధణం తుం తజింగిణ తుం తెయ్యుం తాం కిటతక తత్తై తెయ్యుం తత్తాం కిటతక తాం
సా ని ద ప ద మ గ రి ని రి సా ని రి గ మ గ మ ప ద ని సా ని ద ప ద మ గ రి ని రి సా ని రి గ మ గ మ ప ద ని సా ని ద ప ద మ గ రి ని రి సా ని రి గ మ గ
తళంకు తక్క దిక్కు తక్క తదిగిన తోం తజ్జం తరి తక తాం తక్కుందారి కిట తక్క తక్క జం తరి తక తై తక్కుందారి కుక్కుందారి కిట తక్క తజ్జం తరి తక తా తక్క జం తరి తక తై తజ్జం తరి తక జం తరి తక నం తరి తక రుం తరి త దిత్త త దిత్త తదింగిణతం త దిత్త త దిత్త తదింగిణతం త దిత్త త దిత్త తదింగిణతం త తదింగిణతం తై తదింగిణతం
సా ని ద ప ద మ గ రి ని రి సా ని రి గ మ గ మ ప ద ని సా ని ద ప ద మ గ రి ని రి సా ని రి గ మ గ మ ప ద ని సా ని ద ప ద మ గ రి ని రి సా ని రి గ మ గ మ ప ద ని సా ని ద ప ద మ గ రి ని రి సా ని రి గ మ గ మ ప ద ని సా గ రి స ని రి స ని ద ప మ ప సా ని ద ప ని ద ప మ గ రి గ మ గ రి స గ రి స రి గ మ ద గ మ ద ని మ ద ని రి సా ని ద ప ద మ గ రి ని రి సా ని రి గ మ గ మ ప ద ని ద ని ద ప ద ని ద ద ప ని ద ని స ద ని ప ద మ ప ని ద ప మ గ రి స ని ద ని స రి గ మ ప ద ని ప ద ప మ ప ద మ ని ప ద సా ని ప ద మ గ రి ని సా రి గ మ ప గ మ ప ద ని ప ద ని గ రి సా ని ద da pa da ma ga re ni re sa ni re ga ma ga ma pa da ni ta ni da pa da ma ga re ni re sa ni re ga ma ga ma pa da ni sa ni ga re sa ni da da pa ma ga re ni re sa re ga ma da ma da ni sa re ni sa ni ga re sa ni da pa ma ga re ni re sa re ga ma da ma da ni sa re ni sa ni ga re sa ni da re sa ni da ma ni da ma pa da ni sa ni ga re sa ni da re sa ni da ma ni da ma pa da ni sa ga re sa ni da re sa ni da pa ni da pa ma ga ma pa da ni sa ga re ni da ma ga re sa ni da ni re ga ma da ni ga ma da ni re sa sa ga re ni da ma ga re sa ni da ni re ga ma da ni re sa ga re ni da ma ga re da ni re ga ma da ni sa ni da pa da ma ga re ni re sa ni re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa da ma ga re ni re sa ni re ga ma pa da ni ma pa da ni ma pa da ni sa.
So welcome back. I hope you saw the very basic items that we started our journey with. And the next segment is dance and academia. Bharatanatyam is deeply entwined into Indian philosophical systems and many allied arts. Andre temple architecture agirbodu, Shilpa Shastra agirbodu, Vastu Shastra agirbodu, poetry, mythology, our belief systems, and what we hold dear as value systems. Idi elladunu very intricately connected with all the items that what we do. But ಇದೆಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡುವ ಒಂದು ಐಟಮ್ನ ಅನುಭವಿಸಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ, and then you can keep away your opinions and your biases away, because you know the context, you know where it was set in. So then you can do a lot of those enjoyment and learning, and it's very essential. Academic knowledge, there will be phases where you can't dance, and that's okay. So don't leave dance, but take that time to enrich your mind. And that's what I feel is important.
Yeah, I think we all know and we do understand that Bharatanatyam as an art form has a lot of allied aspects into it. You have the math when you're doing the calculations, the rhythm. Then you have the science when it comes to your body posture, what cannot be done. And then, there is so much also of your emotional, connect, how you're feeling when you're dancing, how you feel after your dance. There could be times when you're handling a particular composition and you're not actually able to relate to what is happening. So when such situations comes up, it's always good to have, some kind of a study, some kind of a reading habit where we are constantly reading about mythology, or it could be just reading about psychology to understand the emotional states of the human being. It could also be something to do with abstract, like, what is common in temple architecture and in our arts. For example, you have something called as a sacred geometry, right? What we do in math. You have your triangles, squares, and circles. But just this basic concept is a common thread that binds all, actually the entire universe. But for the sake of the arts, it's the same thing that we will find. You'll find a triangle at the gopuram of a temple. You'll find the circle in the in the inner vimana. So when, as practitioners, as students, or generally as tourists, if you're visiting these kind of places and watching those, observing, seeing how they are related to our own practice, adds a lot of value to us. You have a visual representation of these concepts. And both Rupa and I read a lot, we discuss a lot, we debate a lot, and we would now like to present.
We also very disagree a lot.
We disagree actually more than we agree. It is through these studies that one also understands and can also make sense of whatever we have studied so far. So we would now like to show a representation of one such mapping. The first one is a varnam, which is a traditional piece. There's an excerpt here which I performed, where I have tried to weave the imagery of the presiding deity of Chidambaram, Nataraja, into the Sanchari of a particular Varnam. So these are some of the things that help us when we are trying to map so many other aspects, the allied forms, into our dance. And Rupa's composition is about, you may want to say.
It's a very simple representation of a geometry. If you take Sri Rajarajeshwari as a concept, usually the imagery is at the base of her feet is the Sri Chakra. But Sri Chakra as a concept itself is very difficult to represent via dance. It's not impossible, very difficult. So what I've taken is a very simple representation. Draw two diagonals, make a square, put a triangle in there, and encompass the whole thing in a circle. And then the Devi rises from the middle of that circle. And that's it. Yeah. So you take a concept, simplify to your understanding, and see what is the limitation of the dance vocabulary as a language, and then put it out to the audience, which probably is simple. We think it is simple, but you guys can see and let us know whether it's easy.
Yes, and I think one of the learning also for us, especially now with social media, we see so many representations, perspectives, and things like that. I think our personal experience is it's very important to study. It's important to understand different perspectives. But when it comes to your actual choreography, it's really about how you distill all these information and allow it to channelize in your choreography. Try to keep the intellectual process in your mind, but adhere to the standard form, adhere to the traditional vocabulary of the dance, and see how it can be presented in such a way that it's not too much for an audience. They leave totally confused, or even for us, we are completely confused. So I think the experience is also about trying to find that blend. And here is a couple of videos which I hope is is representative of this
thought process.
Yeah. So we'll have the Varnam and the Kriti Rajarajeshwari.
ಧಿಯಿ ನಾಗ ತೋಗೋ ತದ್ಧಿಂಗಿನ್ನತ್ತಂ 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 ತಾಂ ತತಿ ತದ್ಧನ್ನ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಕ ತತಿ ತದ್ಧನ್ನ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಾಂ ತತಿ ತದ್ಧನ್ನ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಾಗ ಧಿಯಿ ಧಿಯಿ ನಾಗ ತೋಂಗ ತದ್ಧಿಂಗಿನ್ನತ್ತಂ 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 ತಾಂ ತತಿ ತದ್ಧನ್ನ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಕ ತತಿ ತದ್ಧನ್ನ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಾಂ ತತಿ ತದ್ಧನ್ನ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತದ್ಧಿಂಗಿನ್ನ ತುಂ ತದ್ಧಿಂ ತರಿಕಟಂ ಧಿಂ ತದ್ಧಿಂ ತರಿಕಟಂ ಧಿಂ ತದ್ಧಿಂ ತರಿಕಟಂ
மாறம் களையும் வாயுதே வகை அறியேன் யோகமேகும் பொன்னும் பலம் தன்னில் நட்டமாடும் யோகமேகும் பொன்னும் பலம் தன்னில் நட்டமாடும் யோகமேகும் பொன்னும்
ಓ ರಾಜರಾಜೇಶ್ವರಿ ನಾನಿರಮಿಂಚಕನನ್ನು ಗೋವು ಓ ರಾಜರಾಜೇಶ್ವರಿ ನಾನಿರಮಿಂಚಕನನ್ನು ಗೋವು ಓ ರಾಜರಾಜೇಶ್ವರಿ ನಾನಿರಮಿಂಚಕನನ್ನು ಗೋವು ಓ ರಾಜರಾಜೇಶ್ವರಿ ನೀರಜಾಸನಾದಿ ವಿನೂತ ಪಾದ ನೀರಜಾಸನಾದಿ ವಿನೂತ ಪಾದ ಶಾರದಾ ಭಕ್ತವರದಾ ಶಾರದಾ ಭಕ್ತವರದಾ ಓ ರಾಜರಾಜೇಶ್ವರಿ ನಾನಿರಮಿಂಚಕನನ್ನು ಗೋವು ಓ ರಾಜರಾಜೇಶ್ವರಿ ರಾಜೇಶ್ವರಿ
So now that we have looked at traditional discipline, staying with it and being consistent, we have explored how we can think about it, how we can read. Then only you can think about personalization. I think you should. It's like learning a language, getting a little bit good at it, and then you can express what you're feeling. So in this section, without taking too much time, we are actually doing two items. One is Vatsalya, like when Ramaa is a mother, how does she express herself? And a bit of her flavor will come in. And the other one is Adhisarika Naika, Yarukagilum Bhayama, which I am performing. Like when I am to inhabit that character, some of my own personal quirks, whether it is a mirror or a fingering, whatever that comes into this one. So that's what this segment is about. So
Yeah, I think personalization again is is a very organic concept. I mean, one needs to understand the composition, the context, what the poet intended, and then bring one's own life experiences and see how it can be channelized through the context. So you cannot take a padam and just do fancily whatever you want, because it is a composition that was written with a particular context. For example, Vatsalya, I think, we all love to do the composition of Krishna, but I think today when I do a Vatsalya, there is so much more of my personal experience as a mother that I try to bring in without losing the focus of the fact that it is Krishna, and it's similarly with the padam.
Yeah.
So we have these two compositions here, which I hope brings in a little bit of a personal,
who we are,
really.
Yeah.
Let's go with these two compositions, please.
ಅಣ್ಣನ ಉಡುಗುಂಡು ಬಾರಯ್ಯ ಅಣ್ಣನ ಉಡುಗುಂಡು ಬಾರಯ್ಯ ಸವಿ ಸವಿ ಬೆಣ್ಣೆಯ ಮುದ್ದೆಯ ಮೆಲುವಿಯಂತೆ ಅಣ್ಣನ ಉಡುಗುಂಡು ಬಾರಯ್ಯ ಸವಿ ಸವಿ ಬೆಣ್ಣೆಯ ಮುದ್ದೆಯ ಮೆಲುವಿಯಂತೆ ಕಡಗೋಲ ತಾರಿನ ಚಿನ್ನವೇ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಪೂಚಿಯ ತಂದು ನಿನ್ನಯ ತೊಟ್ಟಿಲ ಕಾಲಿಗೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿಸುವೆ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಪೂಚಿಯ ತಂದು ನಿನ್ನಯ ತೊಟ್ಟಿಲ ಕಾಲಿಗೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿಸುವೆ
காகிலும் பயமா யாரு காகிலும் பயமா சும்மா சொல்லட்டும் யாரு காகிலும் பயமா சும்மா சொல்லட்டும் யாரு காகிலும் பயமா சும்மா சொல்லட்டும் இதில் என்ன ரகசியம்மா சும்மா சொல்லட்டும் யாரு காகிலும் பயம்மா சும்மா சொல்லட்டும் இதில் என்ன ரகசியம்மா சும்மா சொல்லட்டும் யாரு காகிலும் பயம்மா போருக்குள் விஜயல் மோடியில் நின்ற தோரை போருக்குள் விஜயம் மோடியில் நின்ற தூரை போதம் கிடைத்தறிந்த யோகம் அல்லவோ பெண்ணே போதம் கிடைத்தறிந்த யோகம் அல்லவோ பெண்ணே யாரு காகிலும் பயம்மா
Yeah, so I think finally it all boils down to, in dance journey, it's important you have friends. And some of the friends can be super painful, but it's good to have them. And it's about sharing, dancing, and collaborating and creating together with not too much envy, competition. I think I have been very lucky. I've had fantastic dance friends, and I've had chances to collaborate with them. I've had opportunities to rag them, nag them, and then eventually contribute something fun. So we have a kind of a blooper kind of a video where Ramaa and I have collaborated on long ago production, and Ramaa, do you want to say a word or two about
Yeah,
it?
I think just to summarize, this one important concept, I think as one ages, as one spends a long time practicing, performing, and just being with the art form, I think right now we are at a stage where we really are looking for that joy in dance.
Yes.
Joy without envy, without without any kind of a negative feeling, and a lot of gratitude. We're all blessed to be best out with art, not just dance. It could be painting, singing, whatever form of art. It's not a talent that inhabits everybody, and especially with dance, it's important to have a closed circle of friends with whom you can share, you can vent out your feelings, and be a support group to each other. And I would like to acknowledge that it's just not Rupa. We have our own group with Gargi and Anuradha and Radhika, and we do talk a lot about dance. We share our life experiences. That's very important. And I think especially for all the youngsters, have a bond with your fellow students, with your fellow, keep in touch with them, whether you're going to college or you're going abroad to studies, try to catch up, share what you're feeling, share ideas, give and share freely. There is nothing to hold back here. And through this NaTyaasallāpa, we would just like to wish all the youngsters all happiness and joy. May dance bring you continued joy.
Yes.
May it bring you gratitude. May you feel happy dancing, practicing, being with not just dance, but all the other aspects of dance. And once again, thank you
So much for this opportunity.
for this opportunity. We enjoyed sharing this. And here is a final, a fun video
Yeah.
where, we've just tried to put in how we work together on flow. And here is
Yes, yeah.
Satyam,
Yeah.
an ode to friendship.
Yeah.
As a young handsome youth, you stole away the garbs of the innocent gopikas. As they wondered at your mischief, it was I who advised them and spoke to them of your divinity. They rose from my waters, naked, and surrendered themselves to you. As you pined for Radha many a times on my banks, it was I who nudged you to see the love in others, a love waiting to be showered on you, Krishna.
सान्त्विनोऽसि मया शौरे राधा विरह कातरः अहमेव सुखे दुःखे सखी त्वत्सहचारिणी
So I think, thank you so much. And
Yes.
that's what we had for you guys today. And
And thank you. I think there have been quite a lot of them who have expressed
their appreciation.
Thank you so
thank
much. I'm glad we enjoyed it. And if there's anyone who wants to ask anything, we would be happy to share whatever little we know.
Hi, I really enjoyed all of the performances and hearing you guys talk. I feel like that was really insightful and I learned a lot, especially because like I've been doing dance for a really long time and I like just started my career. So hearing you guys talk about how you've like kept with dance throughout your careers has been like really inspirational to me. So thank you. And I think a question that I had was like, what is a lesson from Bharatanatyam that you've taken to those other aspects of your life, like your corporate life and even like being a teacher?
You would talk about
I can tell you this much. Currently, I'm in a leadership position in Google, so I do work with a lot of youngsters. One of the key lessons what I learned is about storytelling, because anywhere you go in your career, if you work hard, that's only one portion. But how do you say the story about the work you have done? How do you work with a team? I mean, there are tremendous amount of lessons that we can carry from dance to corporate teamwork, ability to express yourself, have confidence, storytelling. All of those things matter. So
Yeah, I think as a teacher, one of the most important understanding is to become sensitive to your students' growth. If one is able to retrace one's own growth, the challenges that you face, the downfalls that you have as a student, then you're more sensitive towards your students' growth and you understand where they come from, and therefore you can help as a teacher to help them navigate. And I think as a teacher progresses in their life, it's a fantastic way for the students also to see, saying, hey, my teacher does so many things, I can do it too. If my teacher is able to keep the dance as an important aspect, then the student understands that they don't need to give it up for a career or if they are moving somewhere. So you really are the change, or you really are practicing what you're preaching. So I think they are important. I think to be with it no matter what, find time for it regardless, right? So I think that's the thank you, Rashi. I
Yeah.
hope the answer helped.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, Shaila. I think very sweet.
Yeah,
of
thank you,
to
Shaila.
share. You've been so supportive.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hi, Shani.
Hi, it's been so nice to watch you guys share your love of dance, and the way you guys embody characters is so inspiring. Your abhinaya, it's so beautiful to watch you guys dance.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so my question was, I just completed my Arangetram this summer, and I've always been told that this is just a stepping stone to more dance and to grow as a dancer. But I'm not really sure how to take that on and in what ways and what things to help me grow as a dancer. Like, what would you
Take this, Ramaa.
Yeah, I think the first and the foremost thing to understand is that what I would like to share is don't give up after an Arangetram, right? The first step is really to go, when you're in the process of Arangetram, you've just figured out the choreography and the big days here, and you just want to make sure you've danced without any mistake. But post the Arangetram, the first step would be to revisit all those compositions, and now without the pressure of an Arangetram, people dancing, dance it for yourself in your studio. Go over the music, go over the choreography, see if there are some places that you can do better. We all have the option of watching our videos, so you can go back to your videos and see where you have probably goofed up, or there's some moments that you really liked if you want to recreate them, and then really to pick it up from there and keep dancing it again and again and again, because the real understanding of your compositions, the diving deeper, maybe reading a little bit more about the compositions that you did, like how we mentioned in our segment, they add more perspectives to your compositions, and then keep practicing it and see how the same composition looks maybe 6 months down the lane. That's really, where you begin. And as and when you continuously do this process, you discover so many things. The key is to be at it, to keep practicing it again and again without the pressure, and just dancing for the happiness of it. And there's so many things that you'll actually know you're doing it better now in class than you did during your arangetram. So be at it, and congratulations, and keep dancing. Don't give it up.
Thank you.
Hi. So first of all, thank you so much for sharing your dance with us. It was truly a pleasure to watch the performance and all the nuances, the abhinaya, and the variety of pieces you presented in all different languages, which I really appreciated. So ನನ್ನ question ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು 2 months ago I completed my arangetram and ಈಗ 11th ಅಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀನಿ, which means ನಾ 2 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ and dance ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ because most likely I'll have to move out. So my question is, even in college and beyond, ನಾನು ಹೆಂಗ್ dance continue ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಏನಾದರೂ advice ಇದೆಯಾ?
Kandita ide. This is something I can take, because when I moved to study to the US long ago, I lost everything what I had known. Andre nan dance class illa, nan jote jana illa, elladave. One is ninde recordings irutte. Andre nim dance teacher na kelidre nim basic compositions the recordings sigutte. Our recordings na similar to advice to what said. Nin varak one disanu, ಎರಡು ದಿವಸನು, make time, half an hour. You don't need anybody else. ನೀನೇ ನೀನು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋ. ಇವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. You can see your own improvements. ಆಮೇಲೆ regardless of which dance school the other person is from, dance has one basic thing common: adavus. Like, that will not change. Like, Ramaa and I are not from the same dance school at all. I mean, we barely have danced together. I come from a completely different. But basics, adavus. Get 1 or 2 friends in your university. I'm sure there are a lot of Indian students. Adavus practice ಮಾಡಿ, ಕೈ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೇನೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಹೊಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರ್, ಸೊ you don't have to wait for having known people. And because dance is a universal language, at least adavus will be universal. ನೀನು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತೀಯೋ ನಿಂದೆ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗು. Take the, make some friends who can hit the adavus with you.
Yeah, maybe you can be a self-starter.
Yeah.
You can be proactive and find a network of dancers and say, hey, can we all jam together and practice together? And even technology there, you can, as and when you're practicing, you can record your own videos. ನೀನ್ videos ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು, ನೀನ್ corrections ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. Then have some kind of an arrangement with your teacher. Say, hey, akka, auntie, once a month I will send you what I have practiced. Can you give me a correction? Then go back and work on those corrections. Like, I have a couple of students who've been with me and who've moved abroad. So we do this, they work on something, they send me the videos, I write the corrections for them, then we get onto a Zoom call and we go through that. So be with it, really. And it's actually so much more easy for all of you now with your WhatsApp and with your, 100 million ways to be connected. But the key is to find that connection, to be proactive and say, hey, I'm not going to give it up. I'm going to continue to dance. I'm going to find friends. Obro, yaradro. Find a place, in your university, maybe a basement or a gym where you can spend half an hour and hit your practice. Be with it. Practice. That's all there is to it. And don't give up. So good luck, and don't feel alone. Keep practicing. Dance will be with you. Just don't give up.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ. ನಾನು ಮುಂದಿನ ವರ್ಷ ಅರಂಗೇಟ್ರಮ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ನನ್ನ ಕ್ವಶನು, ಈಗ ಅಭಿನಯ ಪೀಸಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನೀವು ಒಂದರಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು, ಅಂದರೆ ಹಾಡುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಲೈನ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಆ ಎಮೋಷನ್ನ ಒಂದೇ ಥರ ತೋರಿಸೋ ಬದಲು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
ಅದು actually one of the things that we do is storyboarding ತರ. ಆ 4 ಲೈನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು we script it in our head. For example, ಕಡಗೋಲ ತಾರನ್ನ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕೊಡಲ್ವಾ, ಕೊಡಲೇ. So there is different tone in how you express that, and also some of your experiences, and basically ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. ನೀನ್ 4 ಲೈನ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಆ 4 ಲೈನ್ಗೂ ಏನ್ ಕಾನ್ವರ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ, You imagine that conversation and then try to find the right hastas for it, and then, try to practice it.
One of the things that I share with my students is this: when you're practicing on your own, Alma, for example, say you're doing a small padam where maybe it's a young Nayika who's asking, who is telling her boyfriend to come, right? So you imagine, or if you know a friend who has a boyfriend, how all will you talk? Okay, I have like a Pandora's box of how many different ways you can do it when you're practicing. So you can say come, you can say come, you can say come, you can say come, you can say please come, and then you say won't you come? Come. So if you just take a phrase and practice multiple ways of doing it and put it like in a box, in a treasure box, then as and when you're practicing, you can keep pulling it out. But that practice is important. And how you really switch between emotions is see if those situations are very similar to something that you've experienced in your day-to-day life. Maybe you don't have a boyfriend, but you know somebody who does. Maybe you don't have a younger brother, but you know somebody who does, and you observe them and you see how they're moving, with their expressions. And you can observe your own expressions. When you fight with your mom, with your brother, with your friends, how do you react? Put them in a box and refer to that. That's something that we do, and then I share it with my students. See if that helps you. Good luck, and I hope you have a wonderful Arangetram, Prakriti.
Thank you so much.
I hope that helped in some way.
Yeah, it definitely helped. I'll use that advice. Thank you.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಾಟ್ಯ ಸಲ್ಲಾಪ ನಿಜಕ್ಕೂ ಸಲ್ಲಾಪವಾಗಿತ್ತು. ರೂಪಶ್ರೀ ವಿಠಲ್ ಮತ್ತು ರಮಾ ವೇಣುಗೋಪಾಲ್ ಅವರು ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. ನೀವು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಯಂಗ್ ಲೇಡೀಸ್ಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ರಿ. ಹೋಪ್ಫುಲಿ ಅವರು ಅದನ್ನ ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶಿಸ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಲ್ಲರ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲೂ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಿಸಿದ್ರಿ. ಯಾರು ಮರ್ತ್ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಮರ್ತಿರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಈ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಟೈಮ್ ಚೇಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಸಮಯದ ಹಿಂದೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಓಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲೂ ಹೇಗೆ ಶಿಸ್ತು ನಮಗ್ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ರಿ. ಆಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫ್, ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅ ಹೋಮ್ ಮೇಕರ್, ಟೀಚರ್ ಟು ಎನಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫ್, ಫ್ರಮ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕೆರಿಯರ್ ಟು ಅ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ರೋಲ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀರಾ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನೋಡಿದವ್ರು ಐ ಎಮ್ ಪ್ರಿಟಿ ಶ್ಯೂರ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೈರ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಇಟ್. ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಮರ್ಪಣೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಇರತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಡೆನೂ ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. ವಿದ್ಯೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾರು ನಾವು ಕಲಿತೀವಿ, ಅದೇ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಸಮರ್ಪಣೆ ಎರಡೂನು, ಈ ಡೆಡಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಾವ್ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಸಾಧಿಸಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನಕ್ಕೆ ಯು ಬೋತ್ ಆರ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ಅವರ್ ಯಂಗ್ ಲೇಡೀಸ್. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮಿಬ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನೋಡ್ತಿರೋ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಘದ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಸದಸ್ಯರು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಪ್ರೇರಣೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನಂತೂ ಭಾವಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಂಗೂ ಪ್ರೇರಣೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಕೂಟ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬಹಳ ಮೆಚ್ಚುಗೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಮುಂದಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಭೇಟಿಯಾಗೋಣ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.